Hi everyone. Good evening to all of you present here. Thank you so much for joining us for Adda today. Today's Adda is an expert session by Sai Babat. Before that, I would like to introduce Sukoon to all of you and those who are new here. Sukoon means peace, and that's exactly what we are here for. Our mission is simple to ensure that our parents and grandparents' generation feel at peace, feel happy. We are here to create a safe space for all of you. As India's most loved senior community, spanning now across 200 plus cities, Sukoon offers a space where seniors truly thrive, from friendly companions like our Sukoon Sarthis, who are always just a call away, to confidential counseling with our Sukoon coaches for emotional and mental well-being. We provide unwavering support. Seniors find purpose through impactful, age-friendly, verified volunteering opportunities and enjoy daily meetups like the one today, filled with fun, learning, and the joy of meeting new people as well. At Sukoon Corner, we also celebrate our community members and celebrate their stories, their life as well. At Sukoon, we are dedicated to fostering happiness, connection, and peace of mind for the senior community. For today's session, as expert, we have Sai Bapat ma'am. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining us today. We are really honored to have you. About our expert today, with 10 plus years of experience in plant-based nutrition as a yoga teacher, Sai tries to combine her expertise in offering consultation as a holistic health coach. She holds certification in nutrition from Cornell University as well as AFPA and a master's in yogic science. She believes in constantly upgrading her knowledge of holistic nutrition and yoga as the combination truly delivers rich rewards. Her mission is to help people develop healthy and sustainable habits following time-tested principles. She is also one of the co-founders of Poshak Life, and today she is going to take our session on reversal of diabetes and high BP. Welcome, Sai ma'am. The stage is all yours now. I am going to be on mute.
Thank you, Priya, for that kind introduction and welcome all of you. I'm just feeling so happy to be here today. Thanks for the opportunity to share what I know, what I have learned about reversing lifestyle diseases. So, before we begin, I don't want to just keep talking one way. So, I expect all of you to respond whenever there is a question or whenever we are discussing something. So to begin with, I want to understand how many of you have diabetes or high blood pressure problem right now, so that okay, yeah, if your video is on, you can just raise your hand, otherwise you can just okay. So yeah, I got like at least 5 6 of you have diabetes or high blood pressure here. My next question to you is, if I ask you what could have contributed to you getting diabetes or high blood pressure? Any reflections? There is nothing like, what do you think could have contributed to you getting diabetes? Any answer?
Lifestyle.
Lifestyle? Any particular lifestyle area that you think?
Not eating at the right time, not eating proper food, not sleeping on time, excess of everything, sugar, alcohol, smoking, and having more Rajas type of food, no Sattvic food. All these things at least has contributed to my sugar and BP. I'm 62 and having BP for last 30 years and sugar for last 12 years.
Thank you for sharing, Nitin sir.
I would also attribute it to mostly work-related stress and also social pressures when you are working, when you are in part of any organization, and all other things, as our friend Mr. Nitin said. It is just, it's a very avoidable condition, but by the time you realize, you're already deep into it. I am diabetic since the age of, I'm 69 years. I'm diabetic since 40, and blood pressure came in as an attachment 5 years down the line. So I'm on medication for this, and definitely I'm looking forward to what I was attracted by today's topic of reversal, because I'm not sure after nearly 30 years whether it can be reversed or if it can at least be kept under control. I would like to do it. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for sharing your expectation. We will definitely, I'm going to cover all that in my presentation. Anything else anybody would like to share? What can be the cause? Yes?
Besides the things that the earlier speakers have mentioned, it is sedentary lifestyle and irregular eating habits also contribute to these two things.
Yes.
I would also put it to genetic, like inherited diseases also, because I've been very conscious of my lifestyle and eating healthy and everything, but still I did get as a package from one parent blood pressure and the other diabetes, though they're under control but with medication. So even I'm conscious still.
Yeah. Thank you, Alka ma'am.
I will just
Anything?
add, I have also got chronic diabetes in my family. My mother was diabetic, and we are 5 brothers and sister all have diabetes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank
And
you.
both on maternal and paternal side, diabetics were there.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. So what I'm getting from all the sharings, I'll just try to recap. Most of us believe that it is because of the wrong eating patterns, the stress levels at work, not getting adequate rest, maybe not consistent exercise, I would like to add, like not enough physical movement to it, and also some genetic factors that may have given us the genes and they are manifested in this life. So I agree, like you have covered everything that I wanted to share in today's session, like how can we reverse it naturally. But before I share about it, my next question is, do you believe, do you have that belief in you that by changing your lifestyle and all these factors, of course, genetic condition we can't change, but otherwise all other factors, do you think at this age where you are right now in your life journey, it can be reversed? What is your belief? Where are you right now in your thought process when you hear about reversal? Yeah.
I have tried, I am now almost 34 years diabetic, but I have controlled it. My HB1AC never crosses 7, and I don't have any side effects even after 34 years. I have only changed my lifestyle, and it has helped me.
Great, thank you. Who
I
is this? Sorry,
I would
you
like
are
to.
not on video. 1 minute. I
Yeah.
didn't get who was sharing.
Srivatsa, Mr.
Anup
Srivastava.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you.
I'm
Yes,
69 years old, diabetic for this. I had uncontrolled diabetes, which led to even a kidney failure. I went up to dialysis for 2 years, but lifestyle changes and a lot of discipline, I could thankfully, thank God, get out of uh, this kidney dialysis. So I strongly believe if that can be done, the primary cause of diabetes also can be, if possible, reversed. So
correct.
that's why I was very much interested.
Yeah.
in the
Thank you
topic.
so much. So with my experience as a plant-based nutritionist, and I'm also working with many doctors across India. So we have team of doctors who go on reducing the medication when we start changing the lifestyle, changing the diet. Because as a nutritionist, I cannot touch medicines, right? So we need a medical doctor who can monitor the medicine. So I can share with you that almost 95% of the patients who have worked with lifestyle modifications and dietary interventions, they are able to reverse. Now, reverse is a very it is very important to understand when I say reverse. Okay, what do we mean by reverse? So as you all have expressed that some of you are already getting into secondary complications of diabetes like kidney failure and other things, right? So there are many secondary complications of getting high sugar. Same with high BP. Okay, whatever I'm sharing about diabetes is exactly true for high blood pressure as well. High blood pressure gives, I mean, the risk factors increase for stroke and heart attacks and all that. So both go hand in hand. When I say there is a difference between reversal and remission. Okay. So what is that difference? Reverse means you stop this trend of diabetes getting progressed into becoming very severe and getting into secondary complications. So you just stop that trend of diabetes getting worse and worse and affecting the other organs. That is called as reversal. Okay. Remission means you stay in the reversal stage for say 2 years or 5 years, and you, even if you eat say jalebis, 5 jalebis, or you go for that GTT test, right? Still it comes under control. That means your body has learned to manage high shot of sugar. That is remission. That is how we were before we got detected with diabetes. So first we aim for reversal. That means stopping the trend of diabetes affecting and progressing in that direction. And remission happens when for many years you are able to maintain the reversal stage, then one day remission happens. So what we are going to talk about is the changes so that we can reverse. That means we can stop diabetes or blood pressure from progressing into something severe and something complicated. Now, all of us have already listed down the factors which affect, but what I feel is there is one thing which may be new to all of you. I'm just assuming, I may be wrong, something about the dietary modifications. So I am going to stress upon that part. Before I get into that, now tell me, because today's session is all about diet, even though we have listed many factors starting with stress, exercise, rest, movement, and diet, right? These 5 factors. And the 6th factor I would like to add is creative occupation. Okay. These are called as 6 pillars which are going to take us to reversal of the lifestyle diseases. Let me just repeat the 6 pillars once. First is ample exercise. Okay. In whatever way we can, with respect, by taking care of our age and our capacity to exercise, whatever is ample for our body, that is ample exercise. Second is adequate rest. Okay. Again, adequate is a very relative term. For me, 6 hours of sleep is adequate. For somebody else, 8 hours of sleep is also not adequate, right? For some of us, even we need some restful periods during the day. Only night sleep is not enough for some of us. So we need to figure out what is adequate for us and plan for that, right? That is adequate rest, the second point. Third is positive thoughts or balanced thought. I may not call it as positive because all thoughts and all emotions are welcome, but balance. Like whenever we go off balance, how can we come back to a neutral position or maybe in the positive direction? So the stress factor that many of you shared during the work-related stress and personal stress also comes under that. Fourth is positive food. Now, positive food is today's focus. So I'm going to talk more about what do you mean by positive food. Fifth is creative occupation. This is very, very important. Many of us, maybe we were working as employees, or we were handling a business, we were owners of the business, or maybe we are homemakers. As a housewife also, what activities occupy you throughout the day? That is our occupation. Okay. Can it be creative? When I say creative, that means you are not feeling anxious by doing any of those actions. That means you are in that creative mode. Creative doesn't mean I have to draw and paint and sing. That is just one expression of creativity. So how are you carrying out your day-to-day activities? With anxiety or with spontaneity? So being spontaneous is connecting with your inner peaceful state. Okay, are you peaceful when you are going for your day-to-day work and duties and responsibilities? That is the 5th pillar of health. And the 6th one is right environment. When I talk about environment, it is not only the outer environment. Of course, the pure air, access to pure air, pure water, organic food, less chemicals, less fertilizers, all that comes under environment. But also people around you. Are they supportive in your journey? If you decide today that whatever you listen in this session, from tomorrow, I want to follow that. Okay. Do you have the support system around you? Do you have the positive environment around you? Who will help you? Maybe you need help in cooking food in certain way. You will need help in something else. So how is the environment around you? These are the 6 pillars of health, and we can start from any pillar. you may feel right now that, oh, stress is the most, right now I'm bothered by the stress, and that's why I'm unable to sleep, and that's why I'm unable to follow any diet for longer duration. I'm following it for 1 month, and next month I just lose motivation. You can be at different levels, at these different 6 pillars. So you have to decide, okay, I want to start from here, and then you can ask for help. How can I work on my stress? How can I work on my exercise? How can I work on my diet? Right? So I have just given you the overall understanding of how to reach to our health goals by working on these 6 pillars of health. Now I am going to talk specifically about food. Okay, positive food part of it. Whatever I have shared, any question right now, like anything you want to ask before I move on to what is positive food? Okay. If not, I have prepared a presentation, but I feel it's good that I just share as whatever is coming up, because presentation, then I have to share only that and I can't cover the other points. So let me just start with positive food. Okay. When I say positive food, you tell me, you being a diabetic or being a person with high blood pressure, what all have you done till now with respect to your food? Have you tried adding something to your diet? Have you tried reducing something or removing something from your diet? What steps have you taken till now so that your diabetes come under control or blood pressure comes under control? Anything. I would like to hear what all
I
things
have
you have already tried. Yeah.
changed my basic, rice to brown rice. I have changed over from wheat to, a mix sort of seed, lentils, atta for my chapati, and I have introduced lots of vegetables throughout the day, including some mixed vegetable soup in the night, avoiding carbohydrate totally in the night, and introduce some amount of protein because I can't take high protein intake because of heredity kidney behavior.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Was it Mr. Anu who
Yeah,
shared?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So I want to hear from others also. Anything that you have tried. Maybe it has worked, it has not worked. That's fine. But any efforts you have taken from your side with respect to diet?
Myself, I have switched from the regular polished rice to brown rice, or I take millets. We cook millets as if it is a rice, and in place of rice, I use millets. I start with a bowl of salad, and instead of wheat, we have shifted to kapli gahu, as we say in Marathi. I don't know what it's called in emmer wheat, I think so.
Okay.
Kapli gahu is emmer wheat. I think.
Yes.
So that is there, and a bowl of vegetables, compulsory whatever vegetable, and a bowl of dal. More of like whatever our grandparents used to have.
Right.
These are the changes I have done, and it has been helpful.
Okay. Thank you. Anything to add to this? Anybody has tried anything else?
The oils which I use is a mixed of oil. They are all cold pressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Alka ma'am, you want to share?
No, yeah, even we try to, like, I feel it has to be a way of life. So even we have introduced ragi, jowar, bajra for our rotis, and millets or chila at night. And not very strictly that I will not take white rice at all, but majorly red rice, matta rice, or brown rice. Yeah, that is a way of life. I think it has to be a way of life with us. And
Yes.
yeah, salt, as I feel, that is that there's a very different opinion. Some say red salt is better, and some say it's Tata Light is better. So that gets me confused now. Otherwise, it was like pink salt is better, but I think it interferes with some BP medicines. So there's a confusion. So I'm switching back to Tata Light because I think so. There is a confusion since different doctors have different opinions on this salt intake.
Sure. Thank you. So what I'm hearing is most of you are aware of what you have shared is, I can say, 70% of the things that everybody is doing right. So let me just summarize it as removal. We call it as removal of 5 whites. Okay, as a basic rule. Now, what are those 5 whites? Any idea? You have already covered, I think, 3, 4 of the whites. But why we need to? Okay, before I get into
White
removal of,
sugar has to be totally out. No question of white sugar.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, Salt, of course, as Madam said, Tata Light we use, but less quantity. And I don't know what else.
yeah.
Rice, so of course we are not using at all.
Yeah. So let me cover those 5 wide points before I want to cover one small thing. I'm going to explain something about diabetes. Okay. And on similar lines, there is a theory of explaining it from the lens of high blood pressure. But let me just stick to diabetes for the limitation of time we have. Okay.
May I
So
say something, ma'am? Before you begin,
yes.
ma'am, I'm much younger than all the people here, so I have not yet begun to get any of these diseases. But recently, I've started undergoing some brain gut treatment. So I'm on a lactose-free diet and sugar-free and also gluten-free. So I've lost a lot of weight, and I think in the future I will not develop these problems. So I started early. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to give that input. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that input. Yes. So let me just quickly explain diabetes. I come from the family of diabetics. My mother, all my mother's side, maternal uncle, aunts, grandparents, everybody had heavy diabetes. I lost couple of them because of secondary complications of diabetes. And my aunt had to go for amputation. I mean, I know the pain of diabetes, every time checking the sugar and deciding what to eat and what not to eat and what to control, irrespective of, in spite of following all the dietary guidelines like reducing sugar, as some of you said, white sugar, and switching to oils, still, in my experience, the effect was not very good till the time we realized what is the real culprit. Okay, and it has been proven through lot of research that glucose or sugar is not the enemy, because our bodies live on glucose. The final body fuel is glucose. It is carbohydrate. Now, whether simple or complex is a question. Okay, we always go for complex sugars, but not removing rice or removing sweets or something else, or drinking karela ka juice and all that. It has a very short term benefit. It cannot heal in the long run. Okay, but it has been proven through research that excess fat. So let me quickly tell you, I mean, you all must be knowing about how diabetes works, right? So when we eat something, say I eat a cup of rice, okay, it gets broken down into sugar. Final product is glucose. It is in my blood, right? Now there is something called as insulin, the hormone, which is created in our pancreas, and that insulin is sent in the blood so that this excess glucose or this glucose in the blood gets absorbed by our muscles, because our muscles need energy to run, and glucose is the energy. So when there is insulin, there is something called as lock. Okay, every muscle has a lock, and when in the presence of insulin, it acts as a key and it opens that lock and brings the glucose inside the cell, and then muscles use the glucose, they burn it in presence of oxygen, and we get energy. And that is how blood sugar level is maintained, okay, in presence of insulin. Now what happens when we are diabetic? Okay, there is type 1 and type 2. I won't get into the details of type 1 right now, but type 1 is where insulin is not created at all. Okay, body stops creating insulin because of there is damage in pancreatic beta cells of pancreas and many other reasons. Type 2 diabetes happens because even though one first case is insulin deficiency, that means insulin is not enough. Suppose I have 400 molecules of glucose to go inside the muscle cell, my insulin is only 100, right? So there is a deficit of 300, and that's why our sugar remains at higher level. This is one type of one cause why we get diabetes. Second cause is there is insulin, there is enough insulin, but still body is unable, the muscle cells are unable to absorb the glucose. That is called as insulin resistance. Okay, so there is insulin deficiency and insulin resistance. Now, the research says that insulin resistance is due to intracellular excess fat and especially saturated fat. And that fat acts as a lock, uh, jams the lock. And so even though there is insulin, it cannot open it and push the glucose inside. So what are the sources of saturated fat? So it is very easily, we have seen in 21-day diabetes reversal program, I mean, the programs that we conduct, within 21 days, if you stop consuming saturated fats, that is number one. If you add more and more fiber to your diet and don't eat any processed food, but eat it with fiber. And third rule is eat live food. Live food means what? Food which has life in it and it is not dead food. Okay, so all that translates into removal of 5 whites. Now, before I begin with that, what do you think are the sources of saturated fat that we consume? Because saturated fat is the main enemy for diabetics as well as people with high blood pressure. Okay, how are we consuming saturated fat? Any thoughts?
All fried food.
Deep fried, yeah.
Okay.
Especially deep fried foods where oil is reused oils. Because the moment you reuse an oil, it gets saturated. And then
Okay, that is one source. Anything
Yeah.
else?
So,
Sorry.
fatty meat, very fatty meat,
cheese,
lard and
cheese.
things like cheese and
Animal fat.
Animal
fat.
fat.
Okay, so saturated fat is mainly, we get saturated fat through animal products. Okay, fatty meat is one animal product. Any other animal products that we consume?
Milk.
Ghee.
Milk.
Milk,
Ghee.
cheese,
Milk,
ghee,
cheese, ghee, okay, paneer, butter,
paneer.
curd, buttermilk. So,
Yeah.
see, few years ago, 30 years ago or 40 years ago, it was not very well understood or believed that like even I was a vegetarian, right? So I always used to feel that I'm not eating meat, so I am at better position when it comes to fat and saturated fat. But I never understood that being a vegetarian also means I'm eating animal products. I'm drinking glasses of milk every day. So it is just liquid form, but the constitution is same. The saturated fat is same as compared to in meat or in milk or in dairy or in ghee. So this is called, that's why I am a plant-based nutritionist. That means I suggest all the foods that come from plants, okay, and not from animals. So if you can remove or reduce, see, I'm not saying 100% removal. It may not be possible because we are conditioned to eating animal products throughout our life, right? But two things have changed. Now, I believe all of you are senior citizens. In the last 40 years, two things have changed. Quantity of animal products in our diet and quality of animal products in our diet. Okay. Earlier, I remember my grandmother had a cow at her home, right? And it was an indigenous desi cow with a hump. And they used to treat that cow as a family member. They never used to inject any hormonal injections to that cow. They never used to give any injections so that milk supply is more. And then we used to get every desi cow, can everybody go on mute, please? So desi cow can give 3 to 4 liters of milk a day, not more than that. And do you know right now what is the milk production in a dairy farm or where cows are hybrid cows or even desi cows with injections? 30 to 40 liters of milk. Okay, it is not natural to get 40 liters of milk from a cow without any injections. And that's why we are drinking that milk every day from whatever packet milk we get. We are not only getting the cow's growth hormones, but also the hormones which are injected. Okay, and they are really messing up with the hormones inside our body, and the animal protein is creating the problem. And that's why just 21 days if you try to stay away from animal products, you will see tremendous, like the results will be so clear. Like we have got people 300 fasting sugar, 450 fasting sugar. Just after 7 days, it dropped to 150, and by end of 21 days, it was 100. And of course, that person had to stop the medication. Okay, so it is very common to see these results, especially if you are consuming a lot of animal products, and then if you stop consuming animal products, you will see tremendous results very fast. So that is one thing which is new, I feel, to many people, which was not there. Like my parents also grew up consuming a lot of dairy, and I too till the age of 30 years. But last 15 years, I stopped once I realized what is happening with the body. So those 5 whites that I was talking about, it is first is no refined salt. Okay. Refined salt, how refined salt is made? By bleaching the salt. The natural color of salt is depending on the source of the salt. So we have rock salt, sea salt, Himalayan pink salt, Sendha namak, so many types of salt. And they have colors of the minerals, the different minerals. Okay, not only sodium, but so many different minerals we get from the salt. So if we can get natural salt, any of these, we generally suggest you go on rotating the salt. One day you buy a kg of pink Himalayan salt. Next month, once it is over, you get a packet of rock salt, then sea salt. That is also okay, because we are just trying to get all possible minerals from the salt. But the white free flowing Tata Namak that we mentioned just now, everything is taken out and iodine is added. Okay, so it is called as iodized namak or iodized salt. So yes, iodine is there, but all other minerals are gone. That also you can add in your rotation. I'm not saying no. So have rock salt, and then 1 month have free flowing white iodized salt. That is also okay. Keep changing your salt, but don't stick to white salt forever. Okay. Second is, of course, sugar. No white sugar, no refined sugar. We can use a natural sugar components like dry fruits, okay, raisins, figs, apricots, dates. If you want to make some recipe, a payasam, kheer, or laddus or whatever, there are wonderful natural sugar alternatives available, which are safe, which are not bleached form, which are not empty calories, but they also have many other minerals and life in it. Okay, so that is white. No to white salt, no to white sugar. Third white is processed grains. That's how white rice comes under that. Maida comes under that. Okay, any grain from which fiber or the bran, the outer layer of the grain is thrown out, is white, is processed. Okay, so we stick to unpolished rice. Rice is not bad. Okay, even some rice is off-white in color, but it is not processed. You will get Indrayani unpolished rice is not brown. Okay, it is little off-white color. So any rice which is unpolished, any grain, even wheat, somebody spoke about emmer wheat or khapli gahu, right? So that is the traditional variety of wheat. And why that is better than the recently what we are getting as wheat? Because the gluten percentage in that recent modified wheat grain is much higher. In traditional khapli gahu or emmer wheat or jave godhi in Kannada we call, the gluten percentage is 10 to 14%. Gluten is protein in wheat, which is very nutritious and we should consume it. But because that gluten is responsible to make bakery items more fluffy, okay, the grain itself has undergone modification, and now the gluten can be as high as 40% in the wheat that we get nowadays, right? And that's why the wheat flour is white in color, whitish in color. And the chapatis are also very white and fluffy and soft, and they remain soft. But if you use khapli gahu or traditional gahu, they won't, your rotis won't be white in color. They will be brown in color and they will get hard very quickly. Okay, so switching to unpolished grains is the third white we are trying to remove. Millets are excellent, but again in millets, you can get polished millets. Nowadays, some online like Big Basket, all the millets look similar because they are polished. But if you go to any organic shop and if you ask for the millets, you will get different color. Almost 20 varieties of millets are available in India. and ranging from black to purple to pink to brown to various shades in between, right? So again, no white color idli. Okay, it has to be either with ragi or with jawar or with moong or with chilka urad dal, even dals with chilka, because we are trying to retain the fiber. Again, it has been proven through research that anything that you consume with fiber is good for you. You will not increase your weight, and it will also reduce the insulin resistance, and many more benefits of having everything with fiber. And that's why no to polished grains. The fourth thing, which some of you already told, is refined oils. In order to make the oil from unrefined to refined, it goes through bleaching process 3 times. That's why it becomes transparent in color, right? But if you go for unrefined virgin oils that we get nowadays everywhere, cold press oils, they will always be dark in color based on the color of the oil seed, right? So that is the fourth thing. And the fifth, and in my understanding, the key change maker or game changer is removing animal products. Okay. Now, when I say removing all these 5 things, even if you can achieve 85 to 90%, or 95%. The more you can go in removing these 5 things, quicker the results you will see. And it is not, whatever I have shared, these 5 bites, it is not only for diabetes and blood pressure, but it is for all the lifestyle diseases, even thyroid, hormonal imbalance, weight issues, heart problem, so many other problems, skin related issues, autoimmune conditions. For everything, these are universal principle of natural hygiene. The 6 pillars of health that I told you in the beginning, and removing 5 bites. Okay. Now there are many other more details you can add. How to add more fruits and more vegetables without cooking them too much, without removing the fiber, right? So this is the overall gist of dietary changes that if we can make, we will definitely prevention. They are preventive as well as curative. That means if you have diabetes, it will be stopped in its path. It won't progress. It won't become worst. Okay, your medication won't increase. And if you consistently continue to follow these guidelines, it will start slowly reversing. That means the medication dosage will come down. Now, there is no guarantee that you will be medicine free, because food is just one part of it, right? Food is just one of the 6 pillars. So you can be 100% correct in food, but what if you have a lot of stress? What if your sleep is disturbed? What if your exercise routine is not consistent, right? What if you are not resting well? So all those other factors are also important. So it's a journey, and we just have to keep improving ourselves and keep consistently following these guidelines. And let's see how much we can reverse and where we can reach in this reversal journey. I think I have covered what I wanted to cover today. There are many other refined rules, but that we can take up some other day. If you have any questions now, I think it's 5:50. So, Priya, I'll take questions now.
I would like to ask something.
Yes, sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
See, my case is that I am on insulin from the last 30 years. But I feel that the insulin has kept me very active. After starting on insulin, I have been working very hard. I have traveled around the world, and that has kept me active. But is there, over the years, some insulin resistance that the body develops?
Yes, it does. It does. Insulin resistance, because initially your body was lacking the insulin. So with the insulin dosage, it got what it got. But because the lifestyle, I'm just assuming, I may be wrong. I'm whatever you have shared, I'm just trying to understand how it may have worked. But maybe the lifestyle has not changed. Yes, you are able to travel, and you are able to do many more activities with the insulin, but because the other things have not changed, maybe the diet, exercise, rest, stress, so body can develop insulin resistance. It's very well possible that body can develop insulin resistance.
Then
And
what do you do in such a case?
the solution, I mean, the effort is the same, whatever I explained just now.
Okay.
6
Ghee.
pillars and
Just
food.
about ghee. Occasional taking of ghee, is it good?
Again, my answer to that would be, if you are very attached to ghee, if you are conditioned by, I mean, if you are used to having ghee and if you feel in your head that removing ghee is going to cause more stress, okay, than reducing the ghee, I would say you continue with your half a spoon or occasional ghee. But if you are okay, I would suggest that you try it for 21 days, going off all the animal products. Like, that is my suggestion to everyone. For 21 days, try to do this, and you yourself will observe any visible changes in your body. You are the best judge. How are you feeling after making this change? If you feel motivated enough to continue it, continue it. If not, then whatever is difficult for you, it is adding more stress, you don't continue that to 100%.
Okay, I would like to
Madam,
interrupt here. I would like to interrupt just a second.
okay.
Yeah.
So, a lot of questions are coming up. To keep the process clear, kindly raise your hand if your video is on, or write your question in the chat box, so that we are not interrupting each other also. Let me first go back to Shobha ma'am. Shobha ma'am, was your query clear?
Yeah. I just wanted to add, do you mean turning vegan, ma'am? VEGAN, vegan, giving up animal products?
Yes. Yes. So again, there is a difference between vegan diet and whole food plant-based diet. What I am sharing is whole food plant-based diet. That means, yes, you remove the animal products, but you don't continue eating junk food. Like potato, for example, French fries and tomato ketchup is a vegan food, no animal products in that. But it is not whole food, because there are processed elements, deep fried elements, there is white sugar in the ketchup, there are a lot of things. So there is a difference between vegan, just going for vegan food, which will be, of course, without animal products, but many other junk things can be there. But we are not talking about that. We are talking about removal of animal products and also making sure no 5 whites are there.
Okay. Shobha ma'am, clear?
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Next, Anup sir, was your query answered?
Not exactly. I just wanted to ask one question regarding milk. Uh, we are having a double toned skim milk. Is it good enough? And that too, not we drink. We don't drink milk, but we use it for coffee or some tea. Is that good?
So I would suggest, if you want to give it a try, there are
Hmm.
many other plant-based milk alternatives easily available nowadays. What you said, double toned, whatever milk, we really don't know what is the source of it, right? We don't know from
Double toned skimmed milk, Amul.
Amul. So we don't know whether it is hybrid cow or desi cow or A2. I don't want to get into A2 because it is a very, very controversial subject. But what suggestion I would give is, if you are using it only for tea and coffee, try the plant-based alternatives. Like, you can make coconut milk at home. Very easy to make coconut milk. Just half a cup of coconut, blend it with warm water, extract the extract is the coconut milk. Coffee tastes amazing. Just 1 minute, just 1 minute.
So I'm seeing all of your queries and hands being raised. Please wait. I'll call you one by one.
Yes.
Okay.
So coconut milk is easy to make at home. Otherwise, if you are just using it 2 spoons for tea, coffee, you can even go for safely produced soy milk or almond milk or cashew milk. I personally don't use any of these things. Okay, we make coconut milk at home whenever needed, but you can give it a try and you will see the difference when you just replace the animal product with any of the plant-based. So all the plant-based dairy is easily nowadays available, or you can make it at home. Even the curd, buttermilk, milk, cheese, paneer, everything can be made using plants. Okay, so that just reduces the risk further. If you are not up to it willingly in your head, I don't want to force you, but I'm telling you that the results will be much quicker. If you
Oh, okay. So next, Anup sir answered. Okay. Next is Bhayana sir. Please ask your answer. Unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah, is stevia acceptable?
Sorry?
Stevia
Huh.
acceptable?
Is stevia good? That is what you're asking?
Yeah.
So again, stevia is a processed form of stevia leaves, right? So So it is a processed version. So as much as possible, try to replace it with natural form of sugar. Maybe dry date powder, we call kharik, right? Kharik powder, or jaggery, like organic dark color jaggery, not the yellow color, but the most organic source. That is much better than stevia. Okay, and we cannot overuse stevia because it's a chemical, finally. So many people I know, they grow stevia plant in their balcony or terrace, and they use the leaves as a sweetener. That is the most natural form of stevia.
Okay. Bhayana sir, your answers.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay, fine. So I think coming to Tirath sir's question, Tirath sir asked around the same thing in chat box. What about jaggery or jaggery powder in place of white sugar, particularly post meals as a dessert?
Yes, so that's a very good question. So we call it as transition food. Okay, jaggery is a transition food. It is not for long run, but when you're transitioning, when you are letting go of your white sugar, then you can start using jaggery, but not like, see, if I'm eating, say, 5 spoons of sugar every day, if you start eating 5 spoons of jaggery from tomorrow, there is a high possibility that you are going to get addicted to jaggery now instead of sugar. Okay, because jaggery is also addictive, equally addictive like sugar, but it has some more minerals and iron and other things in it. So reduction is first thing. And once you reduce the quantity of sugar, then replace it with jaggery. And slowly, see, it is all about bringing your taste buds back to the natural taste that we all are born with. We are not actually, by birth, we are not addicted to sugar at all. If you, there are nowadays many parents who are not giving their babies any form of sugar till 10 years, and after that they don't crave for chocolates and anything because that is not natural. Okay, so if we can come back to the original taste of our taste buds, state of our taste buds, and that can be done by even reducing jaggery, and slowly you will start appreciating sweetness of a date, sweetness of a mango, sweetness of a banana, and you won't feel like a post meal dessert. But in transition period, you make your sweets with jaggery initially, but make sure that the portion size is not too big. Okay, there is control.
Okay, Sai, so there is next question by Gurunath sir. He sent it to me directly. Is
Okay,
rice bran oil recommended?
yeah. So again, if you get cold press oil in rice bran, great. I mean, it's okay, but what I would suggest is whatever oil seeds your area, local to you. Like in Maharashtra, we use peanuts, right? In South India, we use coconuts. In North India, we use mustard seeds. So it's very easy to get these oils in the purest form instead of going for rice bran or olive oil or something which is foreign to us. Uh, Traditionally. Okay, so as much as possible, stick to the traditional oils that you have grown up eating. Sometimes rice bran is okay.
Okay, fine. Next question is by Dinesh Kumar ji. He has written, please repeat last item animal food. Can we eat black rice?
Okay.
I think he missed something in between. That's when he asked. But anyways, he's asking, can we eat black rice?
Yes, yes. Black rice is very fibrous and lot of nutrition. Generally, it is grown in the northeast states of India, as much as I know, Assam and other part. But if you are getting it, you can make the black rice payasam. The kheer tastes really amazing, and it's good. It's a good grain with fiber because it is black in color. Of course, it is not polished, but it is very difficult to cook. So better you soak it for 5-6 hours first before cooking.
Okay. Next question we have from Alka ji. How do we get calcium from plants?
Good question. So there is a lot of data available online, but still I will give you some highlights. Okay. 1 teaspoon of sesame seeds. It has same calcium as 1 glass of milk. Okay, cow's milk. That is just one thing I'm telling you about sesame seeds. But there are Rajgira, amaranth, broccoli, cabbage, ragi, all the greens. Okay, so initially this question will come in your head and you will try to measure and eat. Okay, what is my source of calcium today from plants? And you will try to include it. But once you start understanding that we are not going behind single nutrient, single nutrient is reductionist approach, as we have understood. We have to go for holistic approach. So don't go for calcium I'm eating this, for magnesium I'm eating this, for protein I'm eating this. Instead of that, we are just going to eat whatever is available locally, naturally, in season, in whichever way. Like we call it as power plate. Like we are eating grains 25%, legumes, that is dals 25%, cooked vegetables 25%, raw vegetables 25%. One of the meals as fruits. Okay, in between snacks as fruits. So if we just go on slowly, we get less and less worried about all these micronutrients, and then we stop counting. Okay, that is what happens when you will start understanding that I am feeling much more energetic. I don't need to count anything really. Okay, so in plants, you don't go calcium deficient. In fact, this is a very plant-based diet can be a very, very nutritionally balanced diet. If you give little thought, like getting it from organic source or safe source, and not processing it too much, then all the nutrients are covered except B12 and D. I have to tell you, all of you, like right now here, but nowadays we have reached to this state that irrespective of what you are eating, non-vegetarians, vegetarians, people who are avoiding animal products, everybody's equal proportion of B12 deficiency
Yes.
and vitamin D deficiency. It has nothing to do. Non-vegetarians are facing B12 deficiency because of the absorption, problem in absorption. And those who are avoiding animal products completely, sometimes if they are not exposed to sun rays, and if they are not exposed to the fungus and bacteria through soil, because of the extra hygienic ways we are, and we are away from nature. So everybody is in the same boat when it comes to B12 and D. And it's so that those two vitamins we need to really take care. There are some natural ways to increase, but I won't get into that right now.
All right. Okay. Next question is from Nayana Prasad. Is brown rice good? I am reading conflicting issues around arsenic content in brown rice. And second question is best sources of protein for vegans.
So don't go for brown rice as such. Go to any organic shop and ask for single polished rice or unpolished rice. The color can be any. Only thing you have to remember is all these rice which has color, you need to soak it. Soak it for 6 to 8 hours, throw the water. Okay. All those things will come out like acidic substances, phytonutrients, anti-nutrients. They are there because of high fiber. Okay. So you just throw that water and then cook it. And the next question is protein source for vegans. All the dals, actually protein deficiency doesn't exist. If you are starving, you are deficient in everything. But if you are eating 3 meals or 2 meals in good quantity, you cannot get deficient in protein. This excess protein is a very hyped idea, and that is causing so much of problem with the kidneys and livers, that we are seeing nowadays, only because everybody is trying to go behind protein supplement. Okay, even plant-based protein supplement is not needed. Nobody needs protein supplement if you are eating enough 2 times. Okay, and if you are not starving yourself, everything has protein in some or the other proportion. Okay, dals and legumes and nuts will have in more quantity than rice and vegetables and other things. But really, we don't have to worry about protein, because if you don't use the protein, it's going to cause problem. Unless you are into bodybuilding and bulking up your muscles, you don't have to worry about protein.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Next, okay, I'm going to stop all of you here. I'll be able to answer the questions which have already come till now and which are already pending. Other than that, we can't due to lack of time. Coming to the next question now. Okay, Sangeeta ma'am, please ask your question.
Ma'am, could we have your number so that we can consult you? Can we
Yeah.
call you? Is it all
Yeah.
right?
Yes, sure. Priya, can I just share? I have
Sure.
created
In the
one-
chat box, you can write. Sure.
Yes. So, okay. So I have just shared my name and my phone number and email ID. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Meanwhile, the next question. If okay, if we could just stop the screen share if people
Yes.
have already taken it down.
Yes.
Okay. So the next question comes from ma'am. You can write it in the chat box. I think people
Oh,
did
okay.
not note down.
Okay. Okay. I'm just writing. Okay. Just a minute.
I know this community so well now.
Info and okay. It's in the chat box.
Okay, great. So the next question we have is from Anuradha ma'am. She is asking, by the way, before that, there is a compliment from Tirath sir. Wonderful session, very clear and organized, valuable information coming free of cost in a very supportive and warm manner. Thanks, Sukoon, for arranging such a useful session. Thanks to Sai ma'am. Tirath ji, like this was very, very last minute.
Thank you.
So, okay, coming to the next question by Anuradha ma'am. What about white rice with the starch removed during cooking?
So that is a practice. It is used in many Ayurvedic way of cooking, but because here we don't believe in removing anything that is good from the food, so that's why it is called as whole food, plant-based. So rice comes from plants, and if we are using unpolished rice, there is no way, there is no reason to remove the starch. I know that cooking process is there, but if you are following these guidelines, which are nature cure or natural hygiene specific, then you don't have to go for that. But that is being part of Ayurvedic cooking as much as I know.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Next question is by Gurunath sir. Again, he has written me personally. Is vitamin D tablet helpful for calcium?
For calcium absorption, yes. If your vitamin D is less, then you need to take the supplements initially. But also, there is a very free of cost way available, which is sunbathing. Okay, sunbathing, sun basking, sun gazing has proven to increase. Like my friend she has a business of bonsai, and all is on the terrace, right? So every day, at least 1.5 hours, she's on the terrace tending to her plants, and her vitamin D is always 40. Okay, 40 plus. So it's very easy to get vitamin D through sun rays, exposure to sun rays, but that practice needs to be consistent. So my suggestion would be, if your vitamin D is very low at this moment time, just go for the supplement course for 3 months. Side by side, you start your sunbathing practice, so that with the supplement, your vitamin D will come to a normal state, and then without any supplements, just with the help of sunbathing, you can maintain the level. Okay.
This
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
have personally done. My vitamin D, like 2 years ago, had reached 8. And with supplements within a few months, I reached, and while going out regularly in sun, I reached about 45 in 3 to 4 months. Okay. Next question that I have is by Anuradha ma'am. Uh, does having methi seeds in the morning help?
Yeah. So it is again a very short-term cure. Okay. If you keep eating methi seeds for years, it stops working. Like I have seen it with many other things. Many people drink jeera water, karela juice. I was telling you, like all these are, we use food as medicine. So now this is not food. You can't eat methi seeds on its own, right? So this is a medicine. So we don't need any external medication. If we are going to use, make sure that our food itself is following all the guidelines. But for some short duration, if you feel like trying it, it's harmless. It won't cause any damage, but it will not work in the long run. Instead of that, you can prepare sprouts, methi sprouts. Methi seeds, you sprout them and then add it in your raw salads. Or just have 2 tablespoons or 1 tablespoon of methi sprouts, chew it thoroughly. That is more potent.
Okay, I think we are done with questions. And Bhayana sir, I've taken note of your message. You could have WhatsApped me also.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so next, I think we have taken all the questions. I have given Sai ma'am's information also here. Great session, Sai ma'am. I really, really appreciate it. Honored to have you here. It was very informative for all of us. I could see how engaged the audience was. I had to actually pitch in to, take questions one by one. Okay, so coming towards the end of our session for today, thank you so much everyone for attending. Have a great day ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone.